Hey everybody, I'm Cinnamon Coney, your Art Sherpa, and today is our first kind of preparation video for Acrylic April. If you're not aware of what Acrylic April is, it is an open call to any artist anywhere painting challenge where you paint a small painting every day in some type of acrylic medium. So if you've ever heard Inktober, you've ever heard of Doodle Wash, it's kind of in keeping with that. There are prompts, you can do your own thing, and because my deal is being an art teacher, for my community, I'm going to be doing a daily video all through April for all of my particular images to help my community come through and do their own daily painting, because we're all at a different level and sometimes we need a little more help and sometimes we just need to do our own thing. And so I'm just trying to make sure everybody has what they have. Does that make sense, John?
I think so.
On the mic is my husband, John. He tracks me with all of our cameras and tries to handle whatever madness I've got going on at any given time. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to take the references and make 3-tone value studies. So these are very simple. These aren't full grayscale paintings. These are very simple, just dark, middle gray, white studies to get a sense of where things are and where a contrast needs to be. And believe it or not, doing this little plan ahead of time can be a big deal. I also have some spaces on these handy dandy, totally provided to you for free from the website. Check the description below, webpage, so that you guys can download them and print them out yourselves and do them yourselves. So hopefully it's very easy. I think I'm ready to just jump on it.
Okay.
Boom, de boom. Hi. Wait, I did the George Takei hi, didn't I? Hi.
Do I have the right image up there?
Yeah. All right.
So I can give you different ones.
So when you're going out in nature or when you're painting from a reference, it used to be artists would like squint at a thing and it works. Like if you squint at something, it will start to compress the values and you'll start to see what's dark and what's light, and it takes out all the busy middle work that can be confusing. As I have mentioned in previous videos, I don't like to do the squinting thing because that's just going to make a bunch of Botox and fillers that I got to do. So I use my computer editing software and I just up the grain and up the contrast and take it black and white. Really helps me.
I'm going to notice here on your image, you actually took it to straight black and white.
Yes.
So notice that it didn't have that smooth grayscale.
Yeah.
So what we can do is show you, I think I can pull this one up and just pull the color right out of that.
Oh, okay. If you want to do that, that's fine.
That way we can...
So you can kind of see as John takes out the color. Again, we're looking for the middle gray, the white, and the black. Now, I have a really cool thing I kind of want to tell you about. I found by Strathmore paper for the inkjet paper, and it's fine art paper. It's 80 pound, but it's a really gorgeous, gorgeous paper, even at 80 pound. And you just run it through your printer. There's a link in the description below and on the website. You don't have to use this, but I really like it because you can do either a charcoal study or a painting study. And the reason we have 4 little squares is because you might want to experiment with a couple ideas. You might want to change the way the values are from the reference. And even if you're a new painter, you are always going to benefit from that type of experimentation. So right here on my little supply area over here on my palette.
Hold on a second.
Sounds like a fun palette. Okay. So you're going to see my little TARDIS keepsake here with little bits of charcoal in it. So this is charcoal. They come in little sets. I think I got mine from Pacific Arc, who's a fantastic company. If you see them, they're a great drafts company. But a lot of different companies have these. Faber-Castell, Kronos. They have these little sets that are black and middle gray and white so that you can do drawings. And the first thing would be just to look at my reference, look at where's my dark colors, where's my light colors, and try to very loosely put that on. Now, you guys know I'm a big fan of my T-square because mama can't make a straight line to save her life. It's a whole thing. It's a journey. And I'm going to lay out my horizon line. Let's put on my glasses so I can see what I'm doing, because I did give us little squares, didn't I? Little squares. I wanted you guys to be able to have the references in your printout so you weren't working so hard for it. I'm going to have to move that down to get it where I want. The little square thing isn't going to want to do that. So I'm going to come across here with just this little charcoal, just to give myself a nice little water line. It's fairly level. Right, that's our goal. Come across, make a little water line that's fairly level. And I'm just going to use Q-tips
Oh, I'm going to pull the gridded version of this out.
To the gridded version. Why?
Isn't that what you had? Like this?
No.
Nope.
I mean, they get that, but that's for drawing it in.
That's for drawing it in.
Yeah. And this one, I'm not so worried about it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we've got these nice little mountains here. They're kind of our darkest value, aren't they? And they come down here. And then there's a little peak of a mountain that comes here. So I'm going to put that in my dark value.
I see. I was confused. You used the straight edge for your water level.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
'Cause I'm bad at it.
And you're
I'm just trying to see some values here, dude.
You're using that Q-tip as a blender?
Yes. I use my Q-tip. You could use your finger, but your fingers have oils. I'm going to use a little white here and lighten this up a bit. And you can see that that definitely pulls the light out. Come across here. So I feel like there's a bit of a light space here coming forward. This is definitely going to be in my middle gray. These are not detailed studies. And if you're not doing little studies before you paint, you may be missing out on an opportunity to have to make less corrections within your canvas. And as artists, sometimes we're like, no, I don't want to do no studies. That doesn't make me happy. I want to just paint. It's what I started doing, just painting. But you can see it lets me see my design as it is. Now, once I have a design like that where I know what I've got going on, what's great about it is that I can play with color. Right? And by just crushing the contrast to those three values, I can really start to see what I've got going on. I just do my little blending. I mean, you could, again, really easily do your finger, but fingers have oils and they can wear your paper out. Nothing wrong with it. Some people like to use Kleenex. What I would say, my little art tip there is don't use the puffs with the lotion.
No.
Because it'll get the lotion all over your piece. Super annoying. And you'll feel like you'll be like, oh man, you'll be like Homer Simpson. Nope.
So Angela.
Hi, Angela.
She was curious. If you were adventuresome, could you use charcoal from the fireplace?
Well, I mean, like, in the sense that it will make a mark, but what you'll find with charcoal from the fireplace is it leaves a little bit of a black mark, but you're going to work really hard to get it blended out. Like, you can do it. We've all done it, but it's not effective, and you very quickly go through the burn surfaces, which I know way too much about this. So clearly this is not the first time this question has come up in my mind. You can, but not effectively.
So, like, using a drawing pencil would be okay then?
You could just use a pencil.
Yeah.
Use a pencil. Pencils are a good idea, you know? So our clouds are kind of actually, isn't it surprising that our clouds are sort of darker than you might expect again, aren't they?
Yeah.
I can do some little darker cloud shapes here. Just talk a little bit about some of these little dark cloud shapes. You can see I'm not being a careful little drawer. Remember Simon Draws?
Are you a top drawer?
I don't know how to respond to that. You ask me so many weird questions. So I can sit there and be like, oh, that looks pretty nice. And then come in and work some of these. And then back again here at this outer edge, I can start thinking about that the value of the piece will start to darken at that edge. And I'll blend this out. See, I didn't give you guys hard homework. I just gave you a little bit of a doodle to stop and think about what you're going to be working on the following day as part of your prep. Because you've got a few things you're going to be doing as prep. You're going to be doing your little value studies. And you're going to be putting in your underpainting. And if you're going to be doing the gridding in process of drawing, which John had an example of that, which you guys saw earlier.
The gridded one?
Yeah. You're going to find those that help. That's always going to be on the website. So check the next day's painting to find your little video on gridding in and the underpainting. And that way, when we're live, I'm adding some light here because I want to create some drama. So what I get to do here by planning this out a little bit is think about where is my most dramatic contrast. What am I going to really be talking about? And you can see you don't have to be even that particularly specific about stuff. You can still get a pretty good little landscape going really fast. And you can always go white over it. So just working up values.
Are you mentally prepared for this journey?
No, you know what? I'm never mentally prepared for a daily painting. At the end of all of this, I'm actually going to be journaling the whole time to myself, just making little notes about my mental state as it progresses, because it's always interesting to see the stages of a daily painting. Someday I'm going to have a theory on like the many stages you can just count on daily painting. Like by day 5, you feel like this, and at day 28, you're feeling like this, and how it all goes. But I'm going to be definitely keeping a record of that. And then I'm going to go back and look at the daily paintings that I have done in the past to see how my own progression has happened, because you guys aren't the only ones that improve here. Believe it or not, I get to improve too. I'm just working out some little values, some little design thoughts about what I want to have going on. So when I come into paint, I'm going to make much quicker decisions about where I might put something. I got that there. And then let's talk a little bit about what's happening here. This gets much darker up at the front, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We can play with that and it comes across. Again, could do this pencil. And if you haven't ever worked with a pencil or it's been a minute, it'll come back to you quickly. Press harder, it gets darker. Press lighter, it gets lighter. You can always erase. Just the usual pencil rules will apply. And you can see I'm just trying to see my little value scape using my white to lighten some areas. Not trying to get every bit of the detail, but just this basic gist. So I'm not coming into the piece with no idea of what I've got going on. So let's turn around and look at that from a distance, as we would. Boom.
Oh, you don't want that. Let me get rid of that for you.
So you can step back and look at your piece and be like, oh, can I see the landscape? Is the landscape in there? And you'd be like, okay, I'm kind of seeing the landscape. The other thing that we can do, and I wanted to share with you, is that you can do little color studies. You can play with where the values are at, where you want to put your light colors, your dark colors. There's a lot of experimentation that you get to do here. So that when you sit down for your sacred painting time, what you're doing is you're sitting down just to do it. You've dealt with all your awkwardness, you've dealt with all that indecision, you've made a path for it, and then you just jump right on it. And that's going to be our goal. When we start on Monday, I know some of you are worried that I'm going to just go April Fools.
This has been one big joke.
But I don't want to be the most hated person on the internet, so I probably won't do that.
That would be the most.
It would be epically funny. I had a YouTube channel for 5 years just to play this April Fool's joke.
Now the pressure is even higher to do it.
There would be no way, right? But we're going to jump right in on Monday, and we're just going to go straight through, and this is going to be our process. So our process should be that we do the painting, right?
Yep.
You're going to then, your prep work for the next day will be doing your studies, taking your evaluation, looking at these references, looking at these materials, because these paintings are loose. They're not tight. So when I refer to those two terms, loose is an expressive, not detailed value expression of an image, and tight is a detailed, true to life rendering of an image.
Could I say that back to you? So that'd be like,
I don't know. Now I'm worried about what I said.
Oh no, you think you did a good job. I like it.
coffee.
So now you blow my brain. So loose is much more subjective, whereas tight is much more objective.
Yeah. Oh, look at you with your art terms.
Is that right?
You know what? I have to tell y'all, if you've never been here before and you're just here for Acrylic April and you don't know us, this is funny back to us dating because my husband, he was in high energy physics. He was in theater, but he wasn't in art. But we were dating, so he had to take a bunch of art classes to spend time with me. And so much of his life has been hijacked by my art. In some way, there's no reason for him to know those terms, except for the fact that...
And Reverend Talley introduced me to Brancusi, so now I love sculpture.
That's right. John does love sculpture. He loves some sculpture, and he does love Brancusi, and he loves actually pretty much all of the modern sculpture movement, don't you?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the mobiles. There's a lot of guys who did I can't remember his name. He did the... Jason's a big fan of his. He did all the mobile pieces that hung in the stark colors.
Calder Mobile?
Yeah. There you go. Calder.
Ba-dum-bum. Suddenly it all comes together when you get the pun. Now, a couple of resources I want to talk to you about. I'm going to be using, and listen, let's put this on the easel. Okay. We can even get in on it. We'll get in on it. We'll talk about it real quick.
Oh, wait, don't.
Look at the back of my head. Okay. Look at this other thing.
This thing?
Easel. There you go.
Okay.
So this is Jill Ritter's color wheel. What it basically does is makes color schemes much easier to plan. So one of the great things about doing a daily painting, doing value studies, is you don't necessarily have to be tied to the color that's in the image. You can play with it, but that can be a little bit overwhelming. And this wheel allows you to be playful and also deal with complements. So say I wanted to do a lot more reds and purples and stuff, and I wanted to have a pop of exciting color, right? I have these two colors. This tells me which colors I can use in the piece and still have harmony and still have the piece not clash, not be overwhelming. Isn't this thing cool?
It is pretty neat.
Now, here's the issue with this thing. There's only one on Amazon, and it's not as cheap as other color wheels. There is another place that you can get a wheel like this that I think is also good, but it didn't have an Amazon link. And that is Bob Burridge's color wheel. Does the same thing. That guy's a master color. It's a very good wheel. There's no link for me to put it in for you guys, but you can, Bob Blast is his YouTube channel, and I'm sure he has a link to his color wheel. So compare the price of this color wheel, if you're going to do one of these, to his color wheel and just get the best deal for you on the color wheel. Right? But like say I wanted to have like this beautiful, like sort of like orange and green sky, then I could do this right here. If I wanted to have complements of this piece is almost in this range here. So can you see how this is working? Mm-hmm. And then look, there's the discords. It gives you that information. So literally, I am almost looking at this exactly in the scheme. Can you see that?
I do.
So here are these ranges, which I see all through here, and pop, there's the discord, which is the focus of the painting. This is the color that is deviant in the color, but like in our eyes, so it pops out towards us. It's unexpected. My mom likes to call it the pop of color, right? Sometimes people think of these things as like having mother colors, and then you leave that color out and you get that pop. But this is the quick and easy way to know what your colors would be. So to use this, like any painting that I did, I would use this scope of them. I would complement in this range. I'd use maybe some pops here, and then in small amounts. See these small little bits here? The small amount is actually an indicator to not use the discords in large quantities. You'd want to use them in small, minuscule amounts. Isn't that kind of interesting?
That is really cool.
So these are really cool. Again, either color wheel doesn't break my heart. I don't have one of these out yet. I'll make one someday, I'm sure. That will be all full of hearts and butterflies and happiness. But until then, these are the ones for you to use. So if you can, if you can't, don't worry. I'm going to be talking about all the stuff as we go. And so if you can't get one, don't stress on it. So that's that one thing. You've got that. We've got our paint colors. I'm going to turn back around and then we'll hop off. Boom. Do you guys have a sense? I'm going to take a couple questions. Do you have a sense of what you're doing on the color study?
Yes. So they love this wheel. You're not going to go through the rest of this, are you?
I don't need to fill 4. I know what I'm... Hey, I froze up there.
You did freeze for a second.
Okay. I don't need to do all 4 of them. I kind of already know what I'm doing. I just wanted you guys to see what we were talking about. You can do it in paint. If you're going to paint it, you may want to gesso the paper first. And if you really, really want the paper not to wrinkle, you're going to want to use a GAC 100. That's GAC, Golden Artist Colors, 100 medium. I don't know what it's called. That's just pure polymer. And that seals it, and then gesso it, and then it's really not going to wrinkle on you. Fun fact. Or do pencil, and you can play with some of those color schemes. Why am I all jumpy and laggy?
I don't know. The camera's acting a little weird.
Camera is acting a little weird. So, that's what's going on. Hopefully, we're going to get the color wheel video to you before we start. Maybe some other stuff. You'll be getting those prep things where we come in and we grid the canvases. Do you have the grid?
Oh, this grid there?
Yeah. So all 30 images have already been selected, gridded out, and prepped. When you get that, you can either grid in with me. That's a 2-inch. I have an 8-inch. Let me show you here. I have 8-inch canvases. So that's every 2 inches a line. If you're really nervous about drawing, you can make it every 1 inch a line. And basically, you just deal with what you're drawing in your little grid. You'll see that in the little accompanying videos that will be on the website at each video's page. You can freehand it in, but of course, every one of them has a traceable. Are you guys ready?
Oh, yeah. What are we doing?
If they have any questions.
Oh, yes. I want to make sure I wasn't. Is there a phone app that's a good color wheel? Not that you were of.
I had know that answer, and I'm going to find out.
Yeah.
I'm worried that our cameras are glitching.
It is glitching.
Okay.
Hold on, it's weird.
Yeah.
Let me see. It left you in a weird place. You can look over
That's
that
even
camera.
weirder.
You can look over that camera.
Okay.
There we go.
Hi. That was super weird. And then you got to see the back of my head, which is so awkward.
They said your hair looked really pretty today.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So you can kind of see the color wheel. You can do the color charts. You can do the wheels. Again, I'm going to take you through these step by step. If you're doing this project with me, you're going to have the easiest time if you don't skip the steps. If you watch the video about how to do a daily painting and you prep and set yourself up that way. If you go ahead and do your prep artwork at home before the next following day and you do some value studies, you're going to have an easier time. If you either trace in or grid in and are ready to paint when we're ready to paint, you'll have an easier time. But remember, like say you're at work when we're live, the videos are up forever. They're replayable. Acrylic April, we're going to make it a state of mind that you could do any month or year, anytime that you have it. And of course, you could just come do one of the paintings and not all the paintings, because maybe you're like, I just really like that cat. That's such a cool cat. Or I love hot air balloons. Just whatever it is that you're loving, that you're attracted to, you of course can just do that. You can pick and choose. You don't have to do all 30 paintings. But I am doing all 30 paintings. If you want to do all 30 paintings, you can do them with me. And by the end of the month, you will be a different artist than you came in.
That's exciting.
I got the shack wiggle here. I'm excited.
I'm excited.
So you guys ready for your prep work? You know what you're doing?
Yes.
Do a little value study. But can you see how simple it is?
Yeah.
It's just simple. You're just trying to go, oh, okay, I got some dark little clouds here and a little spot of light and a little travel of light down here through the water, and I can I'm making my little row of light.
Hold on. There. I was watching you and not watching you were putting on the camera.
I'm making my little row of light. You can see I got the turtle all over myself.
If you're going to do that, I should feel like I should be over watching you.
There's my little row path of light. So you have your little path of light. Nope, that's not a path of light. There you go. So you got a little path of light. You know where your little sunspot is. So you've got that in there. And that way you're not having to worry about how to do that. And you've got both your color reference and your crushed black and white reference so that you can do those easily.
Gotcha.
All you got to do. It's just a super simple thing. And honestly, I'm not going to go report to your family about what work you're keeping up on or not. Remember, you can come by the Facebook group and share this anytime. On the internet, go ahead and hashtag that work with hashtag Acrylic April. You can do hashtag Acrylic April or hashtag Acrylic April 2019. So we can find you on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all the places. If you're coming along in the journey and you're doing your own work, that is fantastic. I still want to see it. Like if you're doing all originals, if you're following the prompts, I want to see it. If you're a creator and you're making videos for Acrylic April, because us acrylic artists, we're going to come just like Inktober. Let me know. I'd love to see what you guys have got going on. So very excited about this month. I'm just as pumped and as excited and nervous and all the feelings that you guys have. I also have them.
Yes.
We all also have them. So be good to yourself. Be good to each other. And I want to see you at the easel really soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.